Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
I'm Trish.
And today we are finishing our playthrough of Drakengard for the PS2, about halfway through the content of the game. But before we get to all of that, how was everyone's week?
What did I even do this week? Oh, I decided that I've only ever played Metroid Prime 1. I've played a lot of other video games. That's not the only video game I've ever played, but of the Metroid Prime series, I've only played Metroid Prime 1. So I decided those aren't terribly long. What if I replayed Metroid Prime 1, because I haven't played it since like the GameCube days, and played 2 and 3. So I got Prime Hack working on my Steam Deck, which is a mod of Metroid Prime Trilogy, which lets you play it, and it's a fork of Dolphin, so it upscales it and everything. But also the main thing is that it lets you play with twin stick controls, which I don't mind the controls in the first two Metroid Prime games, but I don't like. I tried playing a bit of Metroid Prime Trilogy with the pointer controls, and I did not like it. So I got that set up, and I booted it up, and wow, it rules.
Yeah, it was my favorite thing to do with the Steam Deck when I first got it. So I was playing through the first one again.
And I have the remastered version of Metroid Prime 1, so I'm gonna play that version of it. And wow, I played the beginning of that, and it's that remastered version is so good. I'm surprised Nintendo didn't do the other two remastered sort of spaced out, but now I think it's too close to Metroid Prime 4 for them to do them before Metroid Prime 4. But
I have only played Metroid Prime 2. I've played like 3 or 4 hours, and I got lost.
I've heard that's the hardest one. Also, getting lost is something you do in Metroid.
So
I mean, you're not wrong, but
Bernard has only played 1, Trish has only played 2, and I've only played 3. Between the three of us, we're ready for Metroid Prime 4.
What the? Why? Metroid Prime 3, only playing Metroid Prime 3 I sort of get because that's a different console, but only playing Metroid Prime 2 is weird. I'm going to say it.
Okay, it's because listen, back in the day, I didn't have money. My family didn't have money to just get any GameCube game we wanted, and I wasn't that into the Metroid Prime series. But I had a friend who really liked it, and he lent me his copy of 2, and then I never gave it back to him.
Nice. Classic of lending games to people is either not getting them back or not giving them back.
Yeah. But yeah, I played like 3 or 4 hours, got stuck, and then just never played it again.
The problem, it lies with your friend. It's kind of like with my Great White Buffalo book that I spent forever to find, and I finally found it like 2 or 3 years ago. One of my friends was like, "Dude, this book is awesome. I'm going to lend it to you." But then they moved away, and I wasn't able to do it. But it sounded super awesome, and it's book 6 of a 14 book series. Why would you Why would you make me start there? The reason I couldn't find it is I didn't think to check every book 6 of long-running fantasy series, but whatever. Friends are weird.
That is silly.
Indeed.
Speaking of silly.
Yeah?
It's a laugh a minute over here.
Well, I had quite the week.
We gotta let Trish go.
Yeah, I know.
And also, Sam, I don't think you went either.
Oh, I didn't. No, but
it was a very good segue. It's a very good segue. I have to uphold my reputation of ruining it. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I have to ruin it too. It just was a good segue.
So, first, almost like a day after we recorded last week, I was like, you know what? I need to clean up my room. And I don't mean in like a usual clean your room sense. I mean in like the real, I need to reorganize this because it's a tight space. And the way I've been using it isn't great. As some examples, I wasn't able to get access to my closet easily, which meant that a bunch of clothes I should have been hanging up in my closet, I just had in cube storage containers on top of my dresser, which made my dresser just look shitty, and also is not a good way to store those clothes. So I moved the thing I was using as like a bedside table sort of thing, like these racks of shelves. I moved that to a nearby spot that's not right next to my bed, so I have better access to the closet. Hung up things in the closet. My dresser's no longer covered in that shit. And the other big thing I did is my desktop. Again, I think my girlfriend up and down a billion times for giving me this wonderful desktop. I love having a desktop again. It's so great. The tower is a big cube, which makes putting it anywhere really hard because most computer desks are not made for a big cube. They're made for a slender tower. So up till recently, I had it up, like, my desk is one of those where it has, like, the main part of the desk, and then to the right, there's a little elevated area. And I had the elevated area was just the tower space. The tower took up the entire thing. And that wasn't great, because it meant I just had this huge area of the desk that was just the monolith that runs all my stuff. And I had to stack things on top of it, and it wasn't great. So I decided to do what some people would describe as not a great solution, but it's the best one I have, which is I moved it under the desk, where your feet are supposed to go. About half that space is now taken up by the cube. And now I have this other space over here where I can put things. I have a stack of books. I got cue cards and stuff. It's lovely. I like it. And I don't really put my feet under my desk that much anyway. Who gives a crap? And now I can put it up on top of the computer tower like it's a little ottoman. It's lovely. Here's the problem. In the process of doing this, the Wi-Fi adapter that came with the computer was a USB thing that I was sticking out the side, and as I was pressing it into where its location is, that bent hard and broke.
Oh, wait, it didn't break off in the port, did it?
No, it didn't break off in the port, luckily. It just bent at a 90-degree angle. Which I fixed, but just, rebending it back in the shape didn't fix shit. So, I went to a nearby Staples that day, because I need my desktop to have Wi-Fi.
That's important.
I got a Wi-Fi adapter from Staples, and you know what? Shock of all shocks, the Wi-Fi adapter Staples sold me is not great. It's, let me look at the box. It is 1,201 megabytes per second download speed, 574 megabytes a second upload speed, which I thought, looking at the box, was probably not going to be enough. And it turns out it's right, because I've had several issues on Discord calls, either trying to stream something or watch a stream or just being in a call with like 7 other people. The internet starts to fucking choke on itself hard. So I've had to order a new one from Newegg, which was much more expensive, and I have to wait for it to get here. And in the meantime, I got this dinky little one. And yeah, that sucks. You know what's way better? Remember that job interview I mentioned last week? I got the job!
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna be working at a library!
Love it. Love this for you.
I'm so happy. I'm gonna be. I need to meet up with a library person to like sign all the paperwork and do that sort of stuff before I can, and do onboarding and stuff before I start getting into the job. But excited, great, happy for it. Yeah, and then the only other thing I've been doing this week is playing more Persona 5 Royal. I'm probably gonna talk about that in the post show.
Hell yeah, I love to talk about Persona 5.
It's great, except when it's not. But it's really great.
A Persona game cannot bat 1,000. That's the rule.
I think 3 has come the closest. Like 3 reloads come the closest, and even then, there's still some parts. But what about you, Sam?
So this week, so at work, I was having to do really annoying Python work, like most days of the week. We get a bunch of data from the state, and the state formats the data to make it human readable. But the data has 27,000 lines on it. No one's going to fucking read it. So to use the data whatsoever, I have to go and take out a bunch of white space and stuff with Python. And so I've made like 15 different programs at work that just make the data nice. And one of them wasn't working because the way that they decided to make this human readable is they didn't duplicate information. So like if it said Trish, whose PIN number is 12345, did blah 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 on this date, and then the next line would skip Trish, would skip your number, and would say blah 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 on a second date, and then it would be blank blank. And so there was like 4 columns of information that would be omitted. So I wrote the thing to copy down the first 4, and then it stopped working because one of them, only 3 were empty. They had changed the 4th one, and it was only 100 times out of the 27,000 lines, and so it was super annoying to do it for something so rare. So then the next day, it wasn't running again because one line out of 27,000 had only given 2 blanks, and it was so fucking frustrating because the way that I had it set up, because I'm bad at Python and I'm bad at CSV, but I'm really good at regex. I was just treating the CSV as if it was just text, and I was just going in and manually doing it. But because I was doing it that way, I can't just say copy the first 4 columns again. I had to go in and change all of my regex formulas to make it work, and it was super frustrating. So to combat my frustration with programming, I decided to make me a computer wife. So
okay.
So what? Now every morning when I wake up, if I open basically any of the apps that I feel like opening to wake myself up in the morning, it instead opens up Obsidian until I schedule what I'm doing for the day.
Nice.
And then when I schedule what I'm doing for the day, I hit a generate tasks button, and when I generate the tasks, it makes an alarm in my phone for every single one of my things. And then when the alarm goes off, Siri, who I have given the Irish voice number 2 for voice of Siri. It's a very good voice. Recommend changing your Siri voice to that just in general, because it's a very good voice. So she then will read whatever I put in as the label for that task. And so it'll be like, hey, it's time to change your tasks. The thing you have next is blah blah blah. If this doesn't sound right, go and fix it in Obsidian or whatever. And so it was complicated, and I ended up doing it completely in iOS shortcuts language, which if you've ever programmed there, it's very stupid. You can't tell it to add a new action right here in the code where I am. It adds it to the bottom, and you have to drag it up, and it's very stupid, and I very hate it. But it was fun to make it work. And so now the best part about it is that it works. Like it actually solves my ADHD, because it forces me to do it in the morning, and then it's fresh, and it's something I've planned for in the morning, and it's not like, oh, I planned it a week ago, and this is the thing I do every Saturday, and today I'm not feeling like it, because I will already be not feeling like it in the morning when I make it, and I can be like, oh, I'm going to give myself 3 hours to just sit and scroll Tumblr this morning, and I can do that. And it yesterday at work was my first full day at work with it working, and it was the most productive day of work I've ever had, especially on a Friday. And it's really cool.
That's awesome. Love to have ADHD and trick yourself into doing things.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
It has taken a long time for me to find literally anything that works. And I think the only reason I've been getting by is because I have had a non-computer wife. And now that I don't have one, I had to create a computer wife. Otherwise, I would die. So it was a lot of great. I also played a lot of my secret game, which I will probably talk about in the post show when fewer of you are listening. So if you want to know what my secret personal game is, you can tune in on the bonus feed. But if you want to know it, the secret bullshit ending that is Drakengard ending A, you can listen right after this break.
The one ending that's not secret.
the goddess dead and the world ending, let's kick off things with Chapter 7, Tragedy. The information text before the first cutscene informs us that the little girl, the high priestess of the Cult of the Watchers, is also the ruler of the Empire. It also, calls her, quote, the destroyer of all things, the instrument of the gods, and the fountainhead. Okay.
Yeah, all things that are best served in a skippable crawl at the beginning of
exactly.
a level.
I mean, what if we pay too much attention to it? We can't have that.
Yeah. No.
When we get to the scene itself, the child priestess is dancing and singing and scattering flower petals around Furry Eye's corpse. All while
creepy.
like 200 soldiers are just standing there and watching. Then she stops and turns to face the screen and tilts her head, and there is this awful moment where I start to fear she's looking at me, the player, but no, she's watching as Inuart races up. And the brainwashing fails on him as he sees exactly what the side he signed up for has done. He tries to accost the little priestess, but all she has to say for herself is that the seal's dead, and with it the goddess is useless, and then she uses her magic to send him flying back, where he then, runs into the dead body of his ex-fiancée in midair, and I think it kind of looks like he specifically is knocked into her boob. I don't know. The blocking is just very weird, and it's off in a way that honestly just helps the mood of the scene. It makes you just uncomfortable.
I read it as he, gets knocked into the knife and then gets cut, but that is never followed up on. And and there's no blood, but I totally thought he got cut on the knife, but I don't know.
While the priestess goes back to her very important job of singing about the Watchers and dancing, Inuart crumples on the ground. He tries to tell himself that all of his betrayal was done for Furry Eye, yet laments that he wasn't able to sing for her, and perhaps this was all just for himself. When he asks that, we get a brief shot of a dialogue portrait of Furry Eye's corpse, but of course she says nothing back. 10 out of 10, no notes.
I don't think we talked about it when it happened much, but I love the idea that what Inuart lost for his pack is music. I think that's really cool.
I think it's neat. It doesn't feel like it's textually brought up a lot, but it's a very interesting concept. I do like it. After a little therapeutic crying on the floor over being responsible for your lover's death, while a child whose voice intermittently turns low and demonic as she sings about the Watchers and gives zero fucks about your angst, what are you to do? Of course, you steal your girlfriend's dead body and you ride on your dragon, hoping for some sort of miracle, something that could bring her back to life. Oh, and you kiss her corpse. Okay. According to the next text screen, Inuart is hoping to use the seeds of resurrection sown throughout the world to revive Furry Eye, and honestly, considering their name, not the worst idea. Kaim is chasing after him, because apparently only evil can come from the seeds, but let's be honest here, text screen, we all know the real reason that Kaim is chasing his old buddy Inuart down right now. That is right, it is time for another dragon-to-dragon battle, and it is so much easier than the last one. Maybe it's just me, but it really feels like Inuart's grief has provided us a big handicap for him on this round, because he just kind of jobs. And once you win, that's it. That's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, really short chapter.
That was really short. I guess maybe we miscalculated. Maybe the ending is coming closer than we thought, and we're just around the corner from it. We learned how wrong those nascent thoughts of mine were in Chapter 8, Seals. I'm just going to read the exact text for the next page, because I truly don't know how I would even summarize it.
Love when that happens.
The seeds of resurrection lie scattered throughout the Imperial City. Are the seeds humanity's salvation, or its destruction? Inuart has gone alone to try and resurrect Furry Eye. As hope fades from the world, Kaim flies to the Imperial City. He goes to destroy the seeds, and to exact revenge on the priestess Mana. Now, the thing, at least with this ending, as best I can tell you, we do not see Inuart or Furry Eye again, let alone get any idea about what is happening with the Seeds of Resurrection, or them being destroyed, other than dialogue in the next few fights about, the different races are scrambling to get inside of the seeds, and legends say that if you do that, you find a new world, but our dragon friend thinks that's bullshit, and that no one should be doing that. Yeah, anyway, it's time for multiple flying levels in a row. The first one's just killing a bunch of monsters and demons above the Imperial capital. But then the next one, we're faced with the Worm, capital W, an ancient dragon that our dragon pal isn't exactly eager to fight, but Kai makes her do it anyway.
Dick. It's a giant dick. Just a big old schlong on the dragon. Like, bigger than the rest of the dragon. Big old dragon dick.
Listen.
I didn't notice that, and you think I
didn't
would.
notice that either. So it's a flying boss battle, and it's pretty easy. You just hit her a bunch, you wait for her to go into a weird phase where she can't really be attacked, and then you hit her again when she turns back. And that done, we have another flying level. If you can believe it, there are more monsters and demons and stuff, and they're above the city, and you gotta kill them. Finally, after that one, we get to a ground stage, as we fight within the ruined Imperial City to try and get to where the priestess is. The only problem is we need a bunch of keys to do it, and those keys are all being guarded by those skeleton undead sort of guys. So you run through the city, you kill bunches of dudes, the world is ending, you get the keys, and you enter the temple. New problem. Mana is protecting herself magically, and we can only get to her if we kill all of her magic demons and bodyguards and whatever. Now, you might say, that's no problem. Kaim's favorite thing in the world is killing hordes of guys. But between the strength of these particular enemies and the tight quarters, and the seemingly endless waves they come in, I don't know. This fight was not only difficult for me, it felt soul-crushing on an emotional level. I was near death for so much of it, and every time I was like, okay, I finished off all the enemies, that's it. A new batch would show up behind me, and it truly felt like it was never going to stop. At one point, I let myself die just because I was like, is this the point? Is this a pointless thing where I have to die? No, you just got to keep doing it.
You have to remember, this game is really interesting narratively, but has never done anything interesting mechanically.
No.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But except for the mechanics feeling awful in a way that works with the story, but unfortunately they do still feel awful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I got all the way to the literal last one where you have the two sets of wizards and their fucks and the big shield guys at the same time, and I kill the shield guys and I kill the first wizard, and the last wizard kills me. And then I remembered that I have Ariosh and her magic fucking rules, and so the second time I used her like 4 times to get all the way to the last one with full health on Kaim, and then I beat it and it was fine. But
oh yeah, I forgot that mechanic exists because I only have the one dude with the fairy, and it's never obvious to me. I can do that.
Yeah. I forget all the time. That's why I got all the way to the last one before I was like, oh yeah, I have a win button. Let me go back and press it.
But yeah, the waves of enemies do stop eventually, and I've kind of been talking around it, but let's be clear here. Kaim's current objective is to kill this child priestess. Not necessarily because it will do any good, but mostly just because he's craving vengeance the way most of us do water. And even the dragon is pretty eager to pay her back for the whole ending the world thing. So we get a scene of Kaim advancing on this suddenly very scared child, his sword drawn, when Verdele puts a hand on his shoulder and says that he should be the one to handle this. He then brandishes his staff and chants and tries to banish the evil from the little girl, to which Mana insults humans for trying to still live at all and calls us pathetic. And then when the purification spell, or whatever it is, hits her, she starts to grow and grow and grow. Another flying level! This time we're finding a giant child!
It's weird.
At first, it is the same old story. You can hit her sometimes, but then you can't because she puts up her magic shield. You gotta wait for the shield to go down so you can hit her more. Classic video game stuff. But halfway through, she dispenses with that tactic, instead just starts emitting these ring attacks that are at different heights, and then she switches that up by just sending them out at different angles and stuff. So you have to, like, maneuver through the air to avoid them while still trying to kill her with the dragon fire. It's a really cool idea that actually makes the three-dimensionality of fighting in flight interesting and necessary. But it also struggles a little bit because, well, the flight controls in this game aren't exactly great. Hitting the giant child with enough fire shrinks her back down, and she falls back to the earth while crying for her mother. Kaim and the dragon of Vertile reconvene in the ruins of the temple to follow up on the little girl problem. At first, she rants a bunch about, the same way she's been doing for a while. And then she switches gears and starts talking about how much we must hate her and how obviously then we should kill her, how she's not scared of dying. And then the goading turns into pleading, begging her mother not to hate her since she's about to die, turning to Vertile and asking him to do it since Kaim isn't. But as the dragon tells her, they're not going to kill her, actually. Instead, she will live on, knowing the harm that she's caused. I don't especially enjoy the framing here of mercy being a worse punishment than death. Like, the result's good. I like the result of not killing the child. But the framing is still very punitive focused. But, hey, we didn't kill a kid, so that's nice. We did kill tens of thousands of other people, but not the one child who's responsible for it all, kinda.
When someone actually asks Kaim to kill them, it's like that meme where Pingu is like, well, now I am not doing it.
Yeah, exactly. But this all raises a question. Aren't they all about to die? What about the Seeds of Resurrection? Isn't the world ending? Well, it turns out there's a band-aid for that. They could just make a new seal by turning someone else into the goddess. What? What do you mean? You could just do that this whole time?
Apparently.
So
we knew vaguely that they could because Furii wasn't born a goddess. She,
true.
At some point became a goddess.
Before, I was like, okay, that's a thing that they did at some point. Okay, cool. And it never hit me of like, oh, even though like the thing has triggered the world's ending, we could just turn someone else into the goddess, and it's like in my brain, I was like, well, if all the seals are broken, does doing that even help? And apparently, it does. It solves the problem at least temporarily.
What I'm thinking is maybe you have to be very special for it to work, and maybe Furii was special in that way. We don't know because Furii never fucking says or does anything. But
yeah, she truly is a lamp of a character.
There is some dialogue in just a bit that made me think that you have to be special or powerful or something for it to work.
My one of my girlfriends who's sadly sick at home right now is in the audience, and she just messaged me going, "Furry eye."
Yes.
I'm like,
Furry
yes.
eye.
That's how it is pronounced. But yeah, so we gotta look for volunteers, and well, don't you know it? Goddess is kind of a gendered term, and unless someone cracks out of their eggshell in the next minute or so, we've only got one she/her around, discounting the child, and it's our dragon. Sure enough, she offers to give her life to save the world, and Kaim's actually sad about it because, like, he's come to care for her. And Vertile does the magic, and we get the scene of it happening, of the magic scarring itself into her scales. So before she dissolves into sparkles, the dragon does something she never has before. She tells a human her name. She tells Kaim that her name is Angelus. Kaim cries, Angelus dies, and Vertile asks the gods if it is their will that humanity will live on at all. And that's it. That's ending A. What the fuck?
Why didn't Furii turn into rose petals and fly into the sun?
I'm sure this is all thoroughly explained in the other endings.
Maybe.
Whomst can say. But yeah, that is the anguish of an unsmiling watcher. It's the ending that we got. So yeah, let's listen to some music and then we'll talk about our memorable moments and our thoughts on ending A of Drakengard.
I just wanted to throw it right away, just a line from near the end when the child is trying to get us to kill her. She says the line, "Whoppity wop, kill little Mana," which the way it is delivered and just the whoppity wop of it, delightful. I love it. The tone of it, pitch perfect.
Speaking of delightful things about mana, so I famously never got past level 3 or 4, whatever it is, the level where you get Angelus for the first time. But my friends all played Drakengard and liked it, and what seeped into my casual understanding of this game that I didn't realize until it happened this time is the Watcher. They speak. The Watchers. La 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 la. La 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 la. And it's so good. It's so funny.
Man,
He
I
said a
really
lot.
like the voice acting in this game a lot.
It's very good. It's very good.
It's weird, and I love it.
Yeah, the only voice acting I didn't like is Kaims, and thankfully it only lasts for one level. Everything else has been great.
Exactly.
So, we didn't really get into it during the summary, but there's this thing about how it seems like Kaim is corrupting Angelus and making her get bloodthirsty too.
I definitely felt that, but it never really gets addressed.
Yeah. And I like them coming to care for each other, but I feel like it seems to sort of happen with Kaim as a bad influence.
Yeah. I owe you two an apology. I was wrong about the FMV last time.
Yes,
the
you
Let's
were.
Play. The Let's Play put the cut-in from the FMV that we watched at the beginning of this week into their coverage of the last one, because the last one you couldn't tell what the fuck was going on, and so that's what happened.
I'm glad to not be crazy.
I
or at least not
love
crazy in that way.
I love that. Yes. God, I wish I didn't hate playing this game so much, because it would just, if just the levels were shorter, then I could play through the whole thing and love it. And if there weren't pretty much a need to go back and do free expeditions to level your shit up.
The fact that oh crap, we have to hurry, this is the short level, has a 20-minute timer, just shows how freaking long every single level is.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Couple notes. One, I really like the moment of the dragon giving her name. That's really cool. I did like that idea. However, I was raised on the TV show Angel, so when she said her name was Angelus, for those who don't know, that is the name of Angel's evil side in the Buffyverse.
I did not know he had an evil side. I haven't experienced enough of the Buffyverse, I guess.
Yeah, and so depending if you ask younger Trish or current Trish, Angelus is either really scary or absolutely campy hilarious, watching David Boreanaz try to be scary. But
Boreanaz, not Boreanaz.
Okay,
his name is Boreanaz, but Boreanaz is better.
To be fair, the letters are in a strange order, and if you get them mixed up, who cares?
Yeah, but yeah, so like that just added a little bit of the moment, just like okay.
Man, remember when that guy was Leon in Kingdom Hearts and it was bad?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait,
yeah.
In Kingdom Hearts 1, he played. In Kingdom Hearts 1, he plays Squall/Leon, and he's so bad at it.
Oh, that's kind of delightful. Listen, I love him, but he's not a great actor. He is frequently in both Buffy and Angel. I think he kind of stands out as the weak link of the cast in a lot of ways. I'm really glad he wasn't around for the musical episode, because I don't want to try to imagine him singing.
I don't imagine that would have been good.
Sarah Michelle Gellar to sing was already a miracle. Anyway, the next thing I was going to say was, so at the start of playing this week, I have to go into this because I had like this moment where it felt like my thoughts on this game shifted in a way that I was like, oh, this is much more helpful. Because, like I said, at the beginning of Chapter 7, we get that information text which just throws in that the High Priestess of the Watchers is also the ruler of the entire empire. And there was a moment where I read that, and I'm like, what the fuck? Wait, what? Okay, so the cult is running the empire. How did that happen? How does this empire work? What is the cult of the Watchers? I just had to have a moment where I went, I need to stop looking at this like it is any sort of like fantasy world building that is going to make any sense. Like I was like I was like, I need to look at this more like a David Lynch or Ikuhara anime or something. Like
Exactly.
This is a thing that is conceptual and vibes based and thematic and not like a thing in the world. I need to not care. And so I stopped caring and it was suddenly so much easier.
Yeah, you don't usually get this kind of thing in a fantasy setting. Usually it's in the Pacific Northwest. But yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, it was very helpful to have that moment of like, oh, okay, turn off my world building brain completely.
Yeah, this
like,
game...
I do still want to know what the fuck is up with the Cult of the Watchers, and I assume the other endings will give me anything on that. But even if they don't, like, I get it, whatever.
Like, the game doesn't look very anime, so it tricks you into thinking it's like a regular ass fantasy game, and it's not. It's weird anime vibesy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it.
At least no one turned into a car.
I mean, we don't know what happens in the other endings.
You're
I
right,
hear they get pretty wild.
Yeah, my only other note was just I do think like the vibes of this ending as like everyone's sitting in this ruined temple and then being like, well, I guess we're gonna make someone else and let's turn this dragon into a seal. We'll make her the goddess now, and she'll die. And just this going, okay, gods, was this enough? Can we keep living? And that's just the note it ends on. It is so not blink. It's so bleak. It has this this heavy sense of loss and just kind of pointlessness of like, did any of this matter? Was this literally just all for nothing? And I kind of love that. I feel like it was really I was feeling the emotions the game wanted, and that's always a nice feeling.
Yes. Except the feelings that it wants you to feel are bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes art wants me to feel bad feeling, and I'm okay with that. You gotta feel bad feeling sometime.
Absolutely.
During the recap, I was chewing something when you were talking about the boss fight with Mana, and by the time I had swallowed, you had moved on. But for me, the opening phase where she has the shield and then the homing attacks, that was so incredibly hard. But with the one that's supposed to be harder, where you then have to shoot through fly through the rings, if you just get on her ass, the spawn point for those things is like 2 dragon links away from her body. So you just stand there and you just keep smashing square, and you take her down super fast.
I did that the first time around, and I not only did still get hurt occasionally, but I got her HP bar to 0, and then the fight didn't end. It just glitched, and her health bar was at 0, but she kept attacking and killing me, and then I died. So I then decided, okay, I guess I gotta try to play this the way the game wants.
And the problem is, that kind of thing could happen, and you don't know if that's part of the plot. That you get her health down, and like you get her health all the way down, and the boss fight never ends. That's some shit Yoko Taro would do.
Mm-hmm. Whomst indeed.
But yeah, I beat Drakengard last night, and I was like, man, this game kind of rules. And like rules with a like 7 asterisks on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I did go back and dabble a little in New Game Plus and played Ariosh's side quest, which the levels kind of sucked, and I didn't like them. They're all dragon levels, and you're all fighting ships on the water, which would be okay, except water puts out fire. So if you use your homing attack and they swing around them and go into the water, they stop working. So you have to just shoot them directly. And when you do that, because now that you're New Game Plus, your dragon has level 3 attack power, you hit them like once and they blow up, but it was rough and not as fun as I wanted it to be. But
Can't believe Drakengard was rough and not as fun as you wanted it to be.
Yeah,
Wild.
Crazy how that happens. But I don't know. I might go back and keep playing this just as a I want to do something but not care about it sort of game. The way that I did back in the day.
It's hard because you want to play it that way, but then like some story will happen, and sometimes there's dialogue interspersed throughout the levels, and like you want to pay attention to that because that part is really good and not in a passively consumed sort of way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
this game is weird.
It's so.
I want a ROM hack to make the level shorter. That's all I want.
It feels like there are some games that are really good art in the sense of like they feel like a perfect puzzle piece. Like there is a thing that they're doing and it does it great and it fits perfectly into other parts of your life. And then you have a game like Drakengard, which truly doesn't mesh with anything. It is a unique, strange object that doesn't cohesively fit with anything. And that's like it has no purpose except to hold it awkwardly in your hand and admire it. And like, cool. I like that. I like art that you're just like, I guess I'm just gonna vibe with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I could know 100% that none of the rest of the levels that I have to play are flying levels, then I would probably play a crapload more Drakengard. But the fact that the first side quest I did was only flying levels, I don't know, man. maybe I won't finish it.
Man, we have talked about it before. I think mainly I'm the person who goes on about this, but the music is so fucking good.
The music's very good.
It makes me sad that the music was widely panned when the game came out. There's plenty of people who like it now, but it was very much a Back to the Future. Guess you guys weren't ready for that situation. Though I did see a tweet back in the day when I saw tweets. I saw a tweet one time where it was like Drakengard fans when the worst song you've ever fucking heard comes on, and it was just like a gif of someone like doing some really like hardcore fast dancing, and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, in the foot level in the Imperial capital, it was the time of this game that happened the most. No, it was whatever. Make the prepositions correct in that sentence. But it was where you'd made the joke, Bernard, that the music sounds like your emulator's messing up, but in a good way. that track is like the most like is my game frozen? Oh no, that's what the music's supposed to sound like, and
yeah,
it's good.
I love it.
What do you guys think about the Idawart? The way the Idawart things just kind of trail off.
What he deserves.
Oh, agreed. It's I honestly like it where there is a part of me that's like, I wonder if we get any follow up on that of the other endings. But I'm also like, if his ending of his story is him flying off with his girlfriend's dead body, hoping foolishly there's some way to bring her back when there isn't, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
That fits the vibes of this game really well.
Yeah, like other than wanting the levels to be shorter, narratively, I don't think I've encountered anything where I was like, I think it would be better this way. Not because it's necessarily perfect or anything, but it's just like it's such a thing. It like I don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
What a weird game.
What a weird game. Thank you for introducing me to my first Yoko Taro game.
Good news is the others are more fun to play.
I don't know if I'll ever play Drakengard 2 or 3, but I'm probably going to play Nier, if only because Sam cursed me with that video of a woman just yelling insults.
Oh, that was me that cursed.
Oh, that was you? I'm sorry, Bernard. You cursed me. Thank you for cursing me, because that requires me to play that fucking game.
It's so good.
Listen, I love a hot-sounding woman yelling insults. That's great.
It's so good. I'm probably not going to play Drakengard 2 because Drakengard 1 sucked, and Drakengard 2 being another PS2 game is probably more of the same mechanically, and also Yoko Taro wasn't involved, so I don't know if it's as good narratively. It might be. Yoko Taro isn't the only one who can do cool stuff narratively, but it might not be, and I don't want to risk it. But I will probably revisit Drakengard 3 because I remember liking that game a lot. I don't remember if it's any good to play, and maybe just the narrative stuff was making me love it, but I'm interested to revisit it. Unfortunately, it's only on the PS3, and Square Enix, for some reason, isn't interested in re-releasing the Drakengard games.
Who knows? Who knows why?
So apparently, looking at the LP where they're talking about what to do next and how this ending is the canon ending that sets up Drakengard 2. In Drakengard 2, there's not a chapter and verse select, so to get all of the endings, you play it over again.
Oh,
so I'm going to skip to Drakengard 3, especially knowing that the ending that the Nier games build off of is the final ending of Drakengard 1, which has weird Yoko Taro shit in it, and not this canon ending, and therefore not Drakengard 2. I feel totally fine skipping it because ain't no way I'm starting over from scratch over and over and over again.
Yeah, not for Drakengard.
No. But yeah, I'm glad I finally got to see credits on this game. There was quite a lot of go in and press the square button a lot, and then press the triangle when there's too many dudes around you. Throughout the whole game, and it was a good time, and I'm glad that it's over.
Agreed.
But I think that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where you can donate to help support us. If you do, you'll get some extra benefits. At $1 a month, the Gadabout tier gets access to our bonus feed, where we have after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show that are backer only, and they get to decide our fate on the next game that we play. We currently have a poll up between Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen, and Live Alive, and Live Alive is currently winning by 3 votes. So if you want me to be happy, you can go and vote for Dragon Quest IV. And if you want me to be happy, you can go and vote for Live Alive. This lineup rules. I'm fine with either one, but you can. It is still anyone's vote because it's so tight. So head over there and pick games for us to play. At $5 a month, the Warrior tier gets the above, but I also get to read their names at the end of every episode, a little bit like this. Shoutouts to Frosthair, Dragon Slayer 19, Freddy Rodriguez, Aaron524, and JFro Prime. And then at $20 a month, the Luminary tier gets all of the above, plus a 1-sentence shout out to whatever it is they're passionate about. Shoutouts to El Tantivy, who wants you to check out Aftermath.site, a worker-owned reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Kildranis, who says, check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced, movie hype rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. And shoutouts to Vimke, who says, Gideon picked up her sword and cloth again. It was a cute try, but she wasn't buying. And shoutouts to It's Clear Time, who says, so choose a color to live by. Your goal, your faith, your virtue. Give it all. Be the best, because nothing less will do. You can rule the world with colors flying high. Happy Pride. And for RPG Book Club, I have been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I am Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
The best part is that it is like the demonic older voice who says it. Like, it makes it so much weirder and creepier.
I love it. This game rules.